Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 76 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim, the Colossus of Clout Van Stratton. Alongside me is Rodney Newpol. Rodney, happy Friday. Good morning. How are you?
The Colossus of Clout. Okay, that's not easy to say. Doing well, thank you, and good morning to you as well. Happy Friday, and here we are with an episode 76. They've let us stay on the internet for 76 episodes.
Really a dangerous game that the internet is playing, allowing us to exist this long, this many months. We're coming up on a year very soon, like before you know it.
Yeah, somehow, some way, episode 76. But yeah, no, doing good this morning, and I'm just gonna pop right into this. We apparently don't know shit about the NBA.
No,
I should probably say me, because like every time I say, yeah, Pacers, they're done. They just keep winning. And not only did they win, they absolutely destroyed Oklahoma City last night. Now we moved to a game 7, and now I'm all confused. Like, what's actually going to happen? I mean, you got to think Oklahoma City's going to win at home, but like, do I actually know what's going to happen? No, I don't know what's going to happen. That's what's been fun. Sunday night should be fun.
Now, I want to give you a little bit more grace than you are giving yourself, friend, because after game 1, a game that the Pacers stole from OKC, you came on this show, on these airwaves, and you said that you were changing to Thunder in 7. So after one game, you knew that it was going to go 7 games.
Oh, I knew already.
So yeah. you give yourself some credit there with that one. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like for an NBA Finals that was considered one of the more lopsided championship series in the history of the sport, for it to go 7 games and for Indiana to 2 of their wins were comfortable wins.
Yeah.
And they've had has OKC had just one like comfortable win so far? I'm trying to think about like how the series has flowed.
Right.
Like OKC had to come back in game 4. I think game 2 was a lot closer than people expected.
Yeah, like, I think I read that only 7 points difference between the two in the series. So been a pretty competitive series. Yeah. But yeah, so Pacers won by 1, Thunder won by 16 in game 2. Pacers won by 9 in game 3. Thunder won by 7 in game 4. Thunder by 11 in game 5. And so I don't know if the games have been all that close, but in the end, you know, we've had obviously a very close series, 3-3, and points and points allowed about the same. So yeah, no, it's been a great one.
By the way, we hopped right into the NBA Finals, but if you want to join the show, comment section is open. So you can send us, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on X, if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, excuse me, not X. You could get your takes out there. We could feature them. And give us a follow, by the way, at Stupid Sports Show. There's no W at the end, even though all we do is W's here. All we do is win, Rodney. That's it.
That's right. That's
where we save our W's.
Yeah, that's why we're just not wasting it on the show. It's just we've already got a whole bunch of them, and we would have to put a whole bunch of them for this to matter. So, yeah, Stupid Sports Show with no W. Like Shohei Ohtani, right? There you go.
Enough of him. Overrated. All right. Back to NBA talk. So, yeah, that's a great stat about 7 points separating the teams. Like, it's ended up becoming one of the most, like, evenly matched NBA Finals in history, which is very different than what it opened up as, which is the Thunder bigger favorites than a team that we've seen in the finals since the Lakers in 2004 against the Pistons.
Yeah, probably right.
So that's pretty cool. And I think regardless of what happens game 7, like the Indiana Pacers definitely proved themselves as a worthy adversary. No one is going to sit here and be like, "Oh, this is why the Pacers shouldn't have been in the finals." Like this year, we can't know for sure, but I feel pretty comfortable saying that this series is much different if it's the Knicks. Like
Yeah.
I think the Thunder take care of the Knicks more than they've taken care of the Pacers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's been really, really awesome, and I hope that people have gotten past the whole, well, it's small market teams, who cares? It's been a great series. It's been a great NBA. It's much better than the last couple of years.
Oh yeah. And now I'm beginning to wonder, was Tyrese Halliburton ever really hurt? I mean, he didn't look hurt last night. Now he did only play
Yeah.
20-ish minutes, which was great for Rick Carlisle to win by 20 plus points and only play your point guard 20 plus minutes. But you kind of nailed it. You know, TJ McConnell, we've seen him do these things before. It was pretty good last night, including 9 rebounds. I don't really know how TJ McConnell came out with 9 rebounds, but he did. And I was looking at box score, 6 players in double figures once again for Indiana. I mean, that's how they win. They get 16, 14, 12, 10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
And that's their attack. And that's what happened last night. And they seemingly couldn't miss shots. It just never was close after the first quarter.
Yeah, first team in NBA Finals history to have 8 players score 60 or more points over the course of a series.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. It's 7 or 8 players, but I think it was 8. Yeah, 8 players for them that have scored 60 or more points throughout the 6-game series. So that comes out to, and I haven't looked exactly at the averages, but basically you have 8 guys that are scoring double figures for you.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Impressive. Yeah, that's impressive. And shows.
And is anyone averaging 20 for them either? Like it's all between 10 and 19 points.
Yeah. And I guess my question, I mean, I know teams aren't going to shy away from superstars, but are teams going to start maybe seeing this and be like, oh, maybe we don't need a big 3. Maybe we need a big 8, like
a big 8.
Big. I mean, you just need like an average 8, not average. None of those players are average, but like you just need 8 really well. But another thing is like this team is, I mean, they're meshed too. Like you could put a lot of 8 players together and it wouldn't work this way like Indiana. I mean, and then that's probably a big credit to Rick Carlisle and the job he's done, getting all of those guys on the same page and in sync. So, but I guess I just wonder, like, are executives looking at this and like, oh, maybe rethinking how they roster for future years?
Kind of have to, right?
I mean, you would think.
It's a fascinating discussion about roster construction. Like it's much different than the big 3 Heat,
right?
Where it's like, hey, let's get 3 stars and then surround them with Mike Miller and Birdman, and we'll be okay. Yeah, like you need. I think this much is certain. You can have 8 good to very good players, but you still need a couple like all-star level player. And so let's look at the Pacers, right? So the Pacers have Tyrese Halliburton, like it's an all-star. It's an all-star level point guard.
Right.
Pascal Siakam. So depends on the year. And I know there's only so many guys that can be all-stars, but like Pascal Siakam, I would consider to be an all-star level player.
Yeah.
Right. So those are your 2 all-stars right there. And then the rest of the team is surrounded by like lottery type players. Like Nembhard was a lottery pick. I know Obi Toppin they got in a trade, but Obi Toppin was a lottery pick. Miles Turner's been around for a while now, but he was a lottery pick. So like they're still really highly regarded players that can step in. And then off the bench, obviously TJ McConnell's proven himself to be one of the best backups in the NBA. So yeah, that's sort of the formula. And OKC, we talk about them. That's a very similar formula too. SGA, he's the MVP. Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams are both sort of that borderline all-star, which helps, which is why they're so good, because they got 2 additional all-stars. But then like the rest of the team, it's a bunch of pretty highly regarded role players, whether they were lottery picks or a guy like Caruso or Hartenstein. Yeah, like that's That's the formula. Both of these teams are
Yeah.
built very, very similar, and you can't just go in anymore and say, "Hey, like do what the Nets tried to do, or like what the Clippers are doing, where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? Let's get Kevin Durant and James Harden and Kyrie Irving, and then we'll just that's all we need." Like, that doesn't
Yeah.
work anymore. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think you got to reconsider, and they have been over the years. You've seen roster constructions changing over the years,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think these two are the blueprint, and the other 28 teams, 30 teams are saying, okay, we've got to try to mix and match our roster a little bit better. Not go, you said it, not go pay the high end guys. It'll just be interesting to see, how rosters are constructed to try to match these guys, because I mean we've talked about it before. Like these two teams are kind of built. Now, and again, this has been a topic we've had too. Like it can change in a heartbeat, but these two teams are built to compete for several years, right? Like now, are they? We mentioned the
You
other day,
think?
like
Yeah.
Halliburton, of course, with a year-long injury, and that's going to affect next year. But like, if they don't have that year-long injury, they should both compete next year. So, yeah, no, I just think it's an interesting discussion on roster construction in the NBA and how it's changed, and you nailed it.
So Tuesday night, I gave you a ill-advised bet to take Leon Draisaitl to win the Conn Smythe when the Oilers were down by, I think it was only 3 goals at the time, maybe 4. Didn't work.
It didn't
but
win.
It's one of those where it's like, hey, you got $5, you got a few quarters in the couch cushion, maybe throw it on here because you never know. I got another one for you. What about TJ McConnell to win Finals MVP?
Oh, I don't think
at plus 13,000.
I don't think there's any chance. I mean, that's going to Halliburton if they win this.
Well, no. So the odds right now, SGA is minus 220.
Yeah.
Siakam is plus 390.
Yeah. Okay.
Jalen Williams is plus 1,000. Tyrese Halliburton's plus 1,200.
Yeah.
And
so
then there's a large gap with McConnell. No. Yeah. Okay. But just to point out, like TJ McConnell, who we've raved about already on the show and who we've raved about during the series, the first bench player in NBA history with 60 plus points, 25 plus assists, 15 plus rebounds. He was 12, 9, 6, and 4 in game 6. Like, why are we so quick to rule out the idea of TJ McConnell, who's had the best performance of any bench player in the history of the NBA Finals, as the Finals MVP? Why are we so quick? I'm just asking voters to open their minds a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is based on how we know how this goes down, right? Like we know this goes down as typically the star, or Andre Iguodala was, but like the star usually wins this, or one of the two stars. I mean, I don't know what. Like, let me ask you this: like, what's McConnell got to do in Game 7 to solidify this? Like, this the same thing he's done, like 12 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. I don't like. What does he have to do in Game 7 to be like, yeah, he wins this award?
I don't know if it's Thunder get up and then McConnell helps lead the second unit's comeback, gets them back in the game. Perhaps Halliburton is a little gimpy, so then he has to come in, play a lot of big minutes for them in the fourth quarter. Pacers end up winning the game. He finishes with 15 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds.
Okay. No,
am I saying he's going to win? No. Am I saying that it's worth a bet at plus 13,000 for a guy that everyone's talking about how valuable he's been for the Pacers? Possibly.
Yeah, probably. I like your narrative.
See?
I like your narrative there. I like your narrative when, a guy that you need to hit this one up. Like Skeeter would take that bet because he loves those opportunities. So when you talk to him later today, maybe toss that one out to him and see how many American dollars he can throw down.
And a reminder, I'm golfing with him today. I will personally tell him. I will sell him my pitch in person. But you have to remember that Skeeter also never loses.
I know.
He's a gazillionaire. So if Skeeter likes it, then you know that you're screwed because it's like, man, I can't believe I shot Tim down so swiftly. I want to see like the stats for each team because maybe Siakam is so much higher than I think he is averages, but like no one on the Pacers is averaging 26 points. Like it's not there isn't a runaway person on Indiana, which is why I'm saying if the Pacers win this series, then there's a chance.
Yeah.
But the reason McConnell's so low is because the Thunder are still expected to win the series. Jalen Williams is plus 1,000.
Yeah.
Third best.
Yeah.
Odds.
No, you're not crazy. You're not crazy here. Draisaitl had better odds, but that was kind of in the moment more, right? It had better odds.
Yes. Yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens. Like, say the Pacers are up 5 at halftime, and McConnell had a good first half. What would those odds move to?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, worse odds for the better, but I'm curious. I'm curious at that. But no, I'll take a look this afternoon. I got a few. Well, as long as they don't charge me 50 cents to make the bet.
Does that start yet? I don't think so.
September 1st. Weird.
Oh.
Weird. September 1st. Weird. Well, what happens in September? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Beats me. Yeah. So this is the one downside with the bet here. So McConnell is tied with Turner for 4th on the team in points per game this series with 11.3. He's only averaging about 3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, which is second behind Halliburton. Leader in steals, though, 2.3 steals a game. 2.3 steals a game off the bench is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
that's
it is.
insane.
That's a lot.
So no, he's gonna need a big game 7 to help him out. But if Halliburton has to sit sometime, why not?
Yeah.
I'm just asking people to believe in things that might seem unbelievable. Expand your minds for once in your miserable lives. That's all. That's all.
Nice.
Dream big. Dream big. Anyway.
Let's move on to our next portion I want to talk about. Your New York Yankees finally won a baseball game. Congratulations to the New York Yankees on finally winning a baseball game. What happened?
Yeah, well, it seems to be a recurring theme for them where they, after a really good start to the season, they just go through a middle stretch where they just forget how to play baseball. And yeah, this was literally a full week where, they got swept by Boston. They scored, I think it was 1 run on Friday, 2 runs Saturday, then they were shut out on Sunday. Just no offense whatsoever. Even the day before that, where they completed their sweep of Kansas City, they won 1-0, which is I think the 4th time this year they've won a game 1-0. And then first 2 games against the Angels, they get a shutout again. Wednesday, they get just 2 solo home runs from Jazz and Bellinger. And then finally yesterday, it's like, all right, yeah, we can score runs. Turns out it's allowed in baseball to score runs. It's encouraged to score runs. And then they made it happen. So the good news is the streak is snapped. They got a home series against Baltimore, which hopefully now Fried's on the mound tonight. Hopefully they're feeling good. The bad news is this slump came at a time where the Tampa Bay Rays have suddenly done their Rays thing. And now the AL East gap is 2.5 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
2.5 games. Toronto, who I think we both picked to finish last in the AL East, if I'm not mistaken, is 40-34. They're only 3 games out of first place. Yeah. So suddenly, an AL East that looked like it was wrapped up about 3 weeks ago is completely up for grabs. There's like 4 teams right now that can all win the East, and it's frustrating. And
Boston's 5 out.
Yeah. So it's even though Boston kind of just sold their season away for Jordan Hicks.
Literally.
We didn't talk about that on Tuesday, by the way. That was one of the things that we probably should have mentioned. Why? I know this is a Yankee segment, but why are the Red Sox such a poverty franchise now?
Right? Like, I'm not. Well, I mean, we know a lot of that trade had to do with Devers basically being insubordinate, right? Like, I mean, or a poor work teammate, whatever term, whatever phrase you want to call it. I know tonight it's the optics are gonna be, oh, he's playing first base, oh, awesome, but he obviously wasn't great to work with there in Boston. I mean, something didn't click right there. great player, I hate it because it moves a good player into the National League and a wild card contending team because they're not winning the NL West, right? That's going to be the Dodgers. So like my Cardinal, and the Cardinals aren't winning the Central. That's going to be the Cubs. But like you do have 3 opportunities to make a wild card, and whether you want to make that wild card or not, I'm always in the side of baseball. Like if you can make the playoffs, you try to do it, right? Because who knows what's going to happen in a short series, and who knows what? Because like we saw it. Like the Yankees lost 6 in a row. They lost 3 in a row to the Angels. So yes, is it is it crazy to think Cardinals go and eliminate the Dodgers in a playoff series? Yeah, probably crazy. But in all sports, like it's the most likely to happen, right? Like Cardinals could simply beat the Dodgers in a series just because the Dodgers forgot how to hit. So, anyways, I guess bringing Devers in National League, I don't like seeing that, but it certainly helps the Giants, and that'll be interesting tonight. Devers against his former team, who traded him 5 days ago,
and not coming to the National League as a rental either. He has his long-term contract.
Yeah.
He will be a San Francisco Giant for many years.
Yeah, great pickup. And I mean, Jordan Hicks has been trashed this year. Kyle Harrison has potential.
Right, that's it though. Like he's young, but so far I wouldn't say that anyone's been super impressed by him in his limited time in the big leagues.
Left-handed and whatever, but that's interesting. And yes, the AL East is up for grabs, and I know it's a Yankee segment, but now it's crazy because on the other side of New York, they can't win either. Mets have lost six in a row as well.
6 in a row. And something in the water there. Yeah.
That has tied that division up. Now that's a 2-team race. Atlanta just 10 games out.
It's funny because the Phillies had a big lead in the East, and then they had a pretty significant skid, and the Mets took advantage of that. They were able to swap positions, and now they've swapped back. Yeah. So it's just those 2 teams. And I'm, probably not the show today, but eventually we're going to talk about like some potential deadline moves and some players that could get moved on. Like the way that this season is setting up, like there are a lot of teams that whether they're like, hey, we're right there to win a division or we're in playoff contention. I could see there being a lot of trade deadline activity this year.
Yeah, no, I could too. And always, all these baseball conversations always bring me back to my team, the Cardinals. And I'm like, okay, they're 5.5 games out of the division. They're tied in a wild card spot, but like somebody would like Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, they're in such a weird spot. Like everything about the way the Cardinals went into this season and the way they're built indicates that they should probably sell. But then how can you justify that when you're above 500? You still have a small chance at the division. Like the Cubs could fall off.
Yeah,
Pete Crow Armstrong could not hit 20 home runs in 3 months. And what, they're a half game out of a wild card spot right now.
Yeah.
So how do you justify selling at that point? It's a weird spot to be for them.
I mean, Ryan Helsley's another guy. Somebody's going to want Ryan Helsley.
Yeah.
I said Arenado. I mean, Sonny Gray. You can't tell me there's a lot of teams that wouldn't mind having Sonny Gray in the middle of their rotation. Even Eric Fetty. He's not going to be the top of the line guy, but like guys are going to go after Eric Fetty. There would be some teams interested in Miles Michaelis because he would help a rotation at the back end of a rotation. But yeah, no, it's crazy. And I do agree that I think the trade deadline could be wild. That's probably like a July 1st. You've got the NBA finals ending next week. You got the NBA draft. After the NBA draft, I think we could go full steam baseball trade deadline.
Yeah, I'm looking to see who in Major League Baseball is basically, you would say, they're not making the playoffs. The crazy thing is the American League, I think there's only the White Sox will not make the playoffs.
They're not going to make
the A's will not make the playoffs.
Correct.
Baltimore, it's a tough division. 6 games out of a wild card.
Yeah, no, I think that's a team that still could make a little run. We know they have
And
talent.
that's yeah. And then
I'm not,
every other American League team is then 2.5 games or closer to a wild card spot.
yeah, not counting Baltimore out yet.
Yeah. And then NL, the Colorado Rockies will not make the playoffs.
Nope.
The Pittsburgh Pirates, not going to make the playoffs. Miami Marlins, no playoffs. Washington Nationals, no playoffs. And then you get to the Braves at 34 and 39. They're 5.5 out of the wild card. The Braves are probably like, that's the Orioles, where it's just a dreadful start to the season, but there's so much talent on the roster, and it's like you have to sort of give them a shot.
Yeah, I can't count them out quite yet either.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's 6 teams out of 30 that were like, okay, you're not going to be in the playoffs. That's 24 teams then that are saying, hey, we're either in the playoffs or we have a chance. We could potentially be buyers at the deadline here.
And 12 make the playoffs, right? Is that where we're at now? We're at 14. I can't keep track of playoffs.
It's too many. Is it? No, it's 6 each side, right?
3 wild card, 3 division winners. Yeah. It's crazy because
it's too many.
Yeah, and like the NBA has made their playoff change over the years, and the NFL has added wild card, baseball's added wild card. So like every year, I'm trying to think, what have they changed that? Did they change? And I know it's been a few years. Like, trust me, I know it. But like when you see a playoff style for so long and then it changes, like sometimes you just don't remember. But no, so basically 24 teams want to make the playoffs. Only 12 of them will make the playoffs. And then on the other side, like the guaranteed to make the playoffs, the Dodgers are guaranteed to make the playoffs. I would say the Tigers are guaranteed to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Cubs, I could pretty much guarantee the Cubs are going to make the playoffs.
Whoa. Did you just throw up a little in your mouth when you said that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Pete Crow Armstrong jerseys are flying off the shelves and all that, and it does. It makes me think. But like, are we sure that the Yankees are guaranteed to make the playoffs after their recent struggles? Probably.
You can't guarantee it with the same certainty as the Dodgers and the Tigers.
Yeah. Are we sure the Giants? I mean, I know they got better, but are we sure?
I don't think so.
Right. I mean, the Padres have been a little bit of hit or miss. Are we sure? And that's what I'm saying. So, like, out of those 24, now we have maybe 4 that are guaranteed. So there's 8 spots out there.
Well, Mets or Phillies. I don't know which one, but one of them is guaranteed too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And probably both. Because, like, you're kind of just maybe thinking the Central, and then probably 2, and then you would have 2 in the West. That'll be fight. So, I mean, I would say probably both Mets and Phillies, but neither one are guaranteed right now. So, yeah, you got 3 or 4 guarantees, and now you got 8 teams kind of up for grabs for those last spots.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. So, like, it's set up to be a pretty fun last 3 months of the baseball season. Just based on how we've seen a very small amount of teams eliminated, a very small amount of teams that you feel good about being in the playoffs, and then a whole lot in between. And like some of those teams are going to be like, yeah, this ain't it. Like Arizona is one of those teams right now where they're like, man, we're 4th in a really stacked division. We've fallen off a bit. Corbin Burns is out for 18 months. We're probably not going to be hardcore buyers at the deadline. And then they would be a team that sort of just starts pivoting toward next year. Like not every team is just gonna say, hey man, let's go all in to try to do it just because we're within a few games of a wild card spot. But most of them will see a window, and I hope that there's some action because like trade deadlines in any sport are fun.
Yeah,
the baseball trade deadline I'm always a sucker for. I love seeing moves happen, and I think we'll get some over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and that's why I back for my Cardinals, like 25, 30 games here. It's it's bit like what direction they go. Now, if they go 10 and 15, yeah, they're probably going to sell. If they go 15 and 10 and they're 8 to 10 games over 500, well, I find that interesting on what they're going to do. But I would guess, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a Cardinal fan, I would guess they're probably one of the more intriguing trade deadline teams this year because, like, are they going to go get somebody or are they going to sell? And then if they're going to sell, they got several pieces they could sell. So whether it's an all-in sell or not, history says they'll probably do Very little.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rodney, shall we talk golf on this fine
Yeah.
Friday morning? Yeah.
Yeah. Probably a short segment on this one, but Jordan Spieth withdrew first time in his career. He withdrew. He was 5 over through 12 holes. Just not playing well. Just hasn't been playing well. He says he's got the injury to the neck, upper body, but to me it sounds like he was frustrated and just didn't really want to play at the Travelers. The question, the first take question of the day, the show of the morning question of the day, is Jordan Spieth cooked? And I guess my basis here is, will Jordan Spieth ever win another major? Is the cooked portion of this question. What do you think?
That's such a hard question to answer because he's not like old. He's not old.
No. But he's not young.
Well, he's younger than me. Is he? He's younger than me. Is he about the same age as me? I don't know. We're about the same.
33. He's 30.
30. Okay, so he's a little older. He's a little older than me. So yeah, he's not young.
He's 31. He'll be 32 in July.
Okay, so he's younger than me. So
but he's your age.
He's not young.
Basically he's your age.
Well, I'm young.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Jordan Spieth. If you had to have me answer this question, honestly, I would say no. He will not win another major. Now, am I willing to risk anything of substance on it? No, because there's still talent in there, and we saw. I think it was just last year or 2 years ago where there was a run where he was playing some really, really good golf, and you could see that there's still that guy in there. Like Rory McIlroy went 11 years between majors.
Yeah.
And Spieth's last one was, I think, 2017. So, like, there's still an opportunity for Jordan to win a major. Maybe there's a PGA championship at a course that really fits his profile. He's coming into the tournament playing really solid golf. He's finding his game a bit. And then who knows? Who knows, right? So, I'll say no, but a very little confidence. I would say it's not going to be this year. Like, he's not going to win the Open Championship next month. And then next year, wait and see. Like, I don't think he's winning at Augusta. I don't think it's going to be an Open Championship. I think it's going to be like a U.S. Open or PGA.
Yeah. To the Travelers Championship, Scotty Scheffler, of course, is back at the top. He went 8 under yesterday.
Good player.
Roy McIlroy's there too, so we could see. And I know the casual golf fans, not all, they don't always check in events like this, but you could get a possibility to see Scotty and Rory battling it out over the weekend.
It's a featured event, man. It's a featured event. It's a really good leaderboard. It's a leaderboard that you would see at any major, like the types of names on there.
And
it's a small field too.
You know who I want to say thank you to this morning?
Who's that?
I want to say thank you to Patrick Cantlay, who decides to be 5 under through 21 holes at the Travelers Championship after we decided to play him and was like 20 over. Like, the guy had zero opportunity for us when we played him. But Patrick Cantlay,
he's just a despicable human being. I think we can both say that confidently.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I would probably agree with you. I don't know as if Spieth's going to grab another one or not. I've always been a fan of Spieth. I feel bad. I don't know how hurt he is. That's where I'm at with this one. Or he just didn't really want to be in Connecticut. And Rory's told us, and in several of his post rounds, is that, like, sometimes you just don't really want to be there. You're just not motivated to play 4 days of golf, and that could be the case here. And I don't know, like, when you just don't have it, how motivated can you be to fight through a weekend when you just don't really want to be there? But interesting. So what are we, 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away from the Open Championship? Spieth's got to get right, because he is gonna go there. But yeah, so that was really all the golf I needed to discuss this morning. We got to get a little golf in, right?
Well, I was going to say, and shout out to JJ Spawn, who after winning the U.S. Open decided, you know what? I'll play at River Highlands. I'll go to Connecticut, but he's 3 over after his opening rounds. And you know what? That's totally fine, man. Like, This is just a bonus for you. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to JJ for not trying to do too much.
And bogeyed 17 and 18 to finish his round. So not a great first day for JJ, but I would guess because it is such a small field, like he's gonna, I don't know, like do they even have a cut? This may be a no cut event because there are just 71 guys. I have not looked up the exact details, but JJ is like, yeah, I'll survive through the weekend. Like maybe I'll move up to like 40th by the end of the week. But like for JJ, it's like I've been 40th a lot of my career. I'm okay with that. Like I got my
this is where he thrives.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
this is where he thrives right there. Oh, 38th in a tournament. Yeah. Oh, baby. I love it.
I've been paid. I've got my one. Like I don't have to be great here, but I did find it interesting that JJ Spawn moved up to like 6th in the FedEx Cup standings, which just shows you like one win like that is major. I think he's 6th now, which is
and I think he's 3rd right now for the Ryder Cup team. So he's in good spot to be one of the Americans competing in the Ryder Cup, which is fun too.
All right, last topic I want to get to. We are getting closer to. We're about a month away from training camp. Scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you for football?
10.
Getting there?
20.
You've been there a while. Yeah.
I've been there so long, man. I've been there so long. Yeah. I can't wait. This is what happens. There used to be a time in my life, Rodney, believe it or not, where I was like, why are we talking about football in the summer? This is baseball season. And like be one of those guys who was like, we should only talk about football when football is happening. But then it hit me that football never stops. It always happens. There's always mini camps. There's always stories and there's a lot more intrigue in football than I gave it credit for. And I just came to terms to say football is a year-round thing for me. I go to sleep every night now. I'm not thinking about, what the Yankees lineup is going to look like tomorrow. I'm thinking about how the Giants are going to position their defense, where Abdul Carter is going to line up versus where Kayvon Thibodeau is going to line up versus what Brian Burns is going to line up, and seeing how Shane Bowen is going to program this new look defense. That's what I'm thinking about every single night in June. June, not in September, in June. So once I realized that football just has that hold of me, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lean all into it. I cannot be more excited for football. And Skeeter, who we talked about earlier on the show, he asked about Sunday Ticket again. And I was like, if I'm being totally honest with myself, because him and I, like, we have a YouTube TV account together. It's like, if I'm being totally honest with myself, I don't think I can live without NFL Sunday Ticket. Like, even without a discount or anything, like whatever it is, it's like, you know what, man? Like, I need this. I need this. There are a few things in my life there where I'm like, I definitively need. I need Sunday Ticket. I need football as much as I can get. So to answer your question, 100, 200. 100. 100. Let's not get too crazy here.
Yeah.
100.
Dan's at an 8. He's the big hockey guy. After the NHL draft and free agency starts, he'll bump his up. But
yeah, I love Dan. It's be like, oh, this NHL draft is getting in the way right now. And it's funny, like his Wild aren't even like a lottery team. Like the Wild are picking 16th in every single draft they're in. It's like he doesn't need to care that much, but he does. I love it.
And I'm bigger on college football than you. So I am, and that's first, that'll start a little bit earlier than NFL. So I am ready for that, kind of see how another year of the college football playoff goes. The Saturday full slates of games. And then we start getting into the entire weekend of games. So I'm getting there. I'm probably with Dan around to 8, just building up to it. But yeah, I mean, it'll be here soon, and we'll be full speed ahead with shows and spending plenty of football time. One more thing here: Wild don't have a first round pick this year, just a prospect junkie.
Even worse.
I give Dan credit; he just loves these dudes.
Yeah. No, I can't really bash anyone for loving a draft when I could talk about the NFL draft year round.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. So I respect it. All right. Should we do our Mount Rushmore here?
Yeah, we should. 76 is going to be difficult, I think, right? Like, What do you know about 76?
Very little. I'm looking at the baseball list, and I don't think we've had a number in MLB that has produced like worst results. No, to my research here, only two players have worn 76 for more than 2 seasons in baseball history. One of them is Hector Velasquez of the Boston Red Sox, who wore it for 3 years. And then Zach Kelly, again of the Boston Red Sox, who's worn it for the last 4 years. So, and Jose Iglesias is technically by WAR the best player to ever wear 76, but he wore it his rookie year coming up, so just 1 year. He does not count.
No,
he does not count. So, baseball, you are not on the Rushmore for 76. A pathetic showing by Major League Baseball.
I will take the honors and do NBA, and I'm going to put him right on the Mount Rushmore only because he was like the first goofy big man that I remember of the day. Sean Bradley wore 76.
Okay, I saw that, but Sean Bradley only wore 76 for 3 seasons. I remember him as a 44 probably more than a 76.
I mean, yeah, probably, but like 3 years, big giant white dude,
big goofy
I mean,
guy in Space Jam.
Yeah, I mean,
important.
He's definitely in contention as we get to hockey and NFL here. But Sean Bradley for 3 years wore 76.
Yeah, and especially because we haven't put an NBA player on the Mount Rushmore in like 30 shows. So
long
time. He is holding a spot right now, but he has to hold on to the rock by his hand and not fall down the mountain until we can solidify his face.
Yeah,
is that fair? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's good.
You can probably just stand on the ground and then just hold the rock. He's so tall, that freak. Okay. NHL, I want to save NFL for last. I feel like NFL, that's where we're going to get the heavyweights here. NHL, based on what I'm seeing, Brady, I never know how to say it. Brady Skej. Dan's going to be so mad right now. The former Ranger. Okay, here's the actual good one. PK Subban, number 76.
And PK Subban, he's in.
I would say PK Subban's in. So PK, we'll get the bust up there immediately for PK Subban. So I'm good with that. Shea, yeah, of course. I was like, I know that this is way wrong. Brady Shea. I don't think Brady Shea is on the Rushmore, but I'm just throwing out names, giving people options. All right, NFL. I think this is where we're gonna have to make some tough decisions here, Rodney.
Okay. I'm listening.
So, former St. Louis Ram, Hall of Famer, Orlando Pace, wore number 76.
Ohio State, former Ohio State Buckeye. Good player.
Do you have a good relationship with Orlando Pace? I mean, that's right in your like St. Louis Rams wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think highly of Orlando Pace. Did a lot of good things in St. Louis. Was a nice community member for them as well, and I think he still does some opportunities in St. Louis. I'm more than okay with Orlando Pace. Had a good career, good player, big boy, great big boy,
great big boy. Orlando Pace, great big boy. All right, Steve Hutchinson. Hall of Fame guard for Seattle, for Minnesota. Good player. He's high up there. Technically, the best player to ever wear 76, according to Pro Football Reference, is Steve Wisniewski, another guard, career Oakland Raider, LA Raider, Oakland Raider, 8-time Pro Bowler. Not a Hall of Famer, though. Not a Hall of Famer, and a little bit before our time. You might remember Steve Wisniewski. I don't.
Not much. My football fandom as a young kid was not super strong. It's developed over the years.
Yeah, here's one that could have some sentimental value. Steve Mongo McMichael, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, recently.
Or number 76.
Recently passed away, right? I believe he did. He had health issues.
Yeah, in April. Yeah, a couple months ago.
He had health issues. I know of that. He was real bad. Yeah, no, that's not a bad. You know, obviously Bears fans. That's one a big one around here. So like McMichael, Pace, Subban and Bradley. That's not a bad Mount Rushmore.
So yeah, Mongo, Pace,
PK.
Subban. I'm still a little iffy on Sean Bradley, but also like I think you made a very convincing argument. Just a super tall, awkward white guy. It's been a long time since we've had an NBA guy there. It's good to have some representation. You know, what, Rodney? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
I mean, I don't.
People might push back, but you know what? I'm willing to fight them off for the integrity of the Rushmore.
I just don't see another super great case. You mentioned the best NFL. I don't know. Maybe because I'm more in the Sean Bradley era than I am other, but I'm good with it too. Sean Bradley, PK Subban. I mean, you talk about two vast differences there, and then you got Mongo, rest in peace, and Orlando Pace. So you have quite a variety of this. You got super tall, you got great big boy, you've got all sorts of options here. I like it.
No, I'm a fan. Yeah, like the omissions is Dwayne Brown, Steve Hutchinson. I'll give a shout out to my boy Chris Snee, Super Bowl champion with the Giants, Tom Coughlin's son-in-law. So shout out to Snee there. But yeah, I think that we have a pretty solid 76. And then we got 77 on Tuesday, and I can tell you who will be on the 77 Mount Rushmore.
No, yeah, surprise. Even though his career's not over,
he could retire tomorrow, and he would be on the Mount Rushmore of 77s.
I kind of hope.
Luka. But by the way, what are your thoughts there on the sale? The sale. Apparently, like people have been saying that this has been something that's been sort of talked about quietly for a while. That this was eventually the plan here, but $10 billion is a lot of money. A lot of money for not 100% of the team either.
It's crazy money. It's crazy money, and it kind of brings me to the whole point of like I was thinking we should buy the Rays. That's a lot of money too, but maybe we get more bang for your buck by getting a raise. I don't know, but no, I don't know a lot of the details of the sale. I wouldn't call that my strong suit in the world of sports, knowing ownerships and business. I thought it. I haven't followed it close enough. I thought it came out of the blue, right? Like there was no super indication that it was like imminent.
So Mark Walter had been a minority shareholder or a stakeholder in the team for a few years. So he at least had an in. This isn't like he just came out of the blue and just gave them this offer. So he had been sort of involved in it for a while. So you have to imagine that there's been some sort of thing. And then like the whole thing where Genie's going to stay on as governor of the team for a while. Like, so there's probably been some good back and forth for a bit. But what's the most exciting part of this to me is that the Lakers, for as big of a brand as the Lakers are, they've always sort of operated as a family-owned business where they don't spend crazy. They usually stay pretty much within that salary cap. And now you're probably walking into a situation where the Lakers are going to blow past that first apron, blow past the luxury tax. There's going to be more of a willingness to spend, at least in the next couple of years while LeBron's still on the team. So I think that's sort of the major change that you'll see, at least in the short term. They'll just be more aggressive, more aggressive in the money that they spend, which is scary for 29 other teams.
It is scary, yeah. With scary for a franchise that already has LeBron and Luka.
Yeah, right. But it's like the last few years of Laker basketball, at least in the offseason, it's been we need to cut costs. We need to let Alex Caruso walk. Like Mark Walter is the type of owner where in that situation, the new financial situation that the team's in, like they're not going to have an issue with like, oh, Alex Caruso is going to be a free agent. Like we can re-sign him. Like that's not going to be an issue anymore. So that's a positive for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, more on that as we get some opportunity to talk NBA. But I think that should about do it for the day, right? We're up against the hour, and you've got things to do. You mentioned you're going out golfing. Good luck on the course today. Good luck on the course.
Thank you. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot.
And I actually think I'm downstairs, but I actually think it was raining a little bit ago. So
Oh, good.
hopefully the afternoon rain stays away from you. But enjoy the golf day. We'll be back, Tuesday for the Luca show. I'm just going to call it now. It's the Luca show.
It's the Luca show. That's all it is. That's all it needs to be. We will be talking about Game 7. We'll be counting our winnings from TJ McConnell winning the Finals MVP. That is how we buy the Rays.
That's right.
We invest, don't bet, invest in TJ McConnell winning Finals MVP at plus 13,000.
And then we become owners of the Rays. Awesome. I'm in.
They would hate me. Oh, God, they would hate me.
Everybody hates me. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. All right. Rodney, how's the Substack doing?
Oh, good. Good night last night. Back to around 500 for the month, which means like 30 units ahead for the year. So keep that rolling. Sign up at Substack the last 10 days here of the month. Unfortunately, it'll be baseball and WNBA here for several weeks. That's about all we got. I could dabble in MLS, but I don't know if that's a smart idea. But then we'll obviously, once college football and NFL gets here, it'll be a jam packed. But yeah, those should be coming out every day.
I might come out of my Substack retirement once football starts, and then I could throw in some football bets there. Like I'm not going to be doing baseball bets. I don't think I've ever won a Major League Baseball bet.
It's difficult.
In my life. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah. And I felt like I know ball, but that will humble me very quickly.
Yeah.
A reminder that you can follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter. No X, and there's no W at the end. So if you're watching, chances are you're doing it right now on Twitter. So just make sure to give us a follow there, and listen to any of our 76 episodes of the Stupidest Sports Show wherever you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple, iHeart. They're all good. They're all valuable resources for podcasts, and we'll be there. So that about wraps it up. Sorry for the late start today. Friday mornings sneak up on you fast, man.
Yeah. 8 a.m. is an early one. I get you. Now, I've been up a while, but it does come quick. 8 a.m. comes quick.
Well, no, the dangerous game is getting up early, but too early. And then the point where it's like, hey, I think maybe I can sneak a little bit more sleep in. Because usually my dog wakes me up around 5:45 every morning to go to the bathroom. And in the summer, that's not that bad. It's light out. And what I should do is take advantage of all that time in the morning to do what I got to do to get prepared for the day. Instead, after I took her out, I was like, you know what? Maybe a little bit more shut-eye will do me some good. Next thing you know, it's 8:02. I get a text from Rodney. Hey, you're not doing the show today? Nope. I got lost in the dreams, man. It was like a deep sleep too. Yeah. No. So, but as a professional, I quickly put on my hat, turned on my camera, and I made it work. And I'm here, buddy.
You bounce back. That's resiliency. That's resiliency at its finest there. I would vote you finals MVP for just for that work right there. That was solid work. Strong work.
Thank you. I'm the real hero.
Yeah.
Is what Rodney's trying to say. Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Let's get out of here. We'll talk again Tuesday night. Be a fun show, the Luca show. Dan just texted me saying 77 Mount Rushmore might be the best number yet. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. How's that for a teaser, people?
Whoa.
All right. For our friend Rodney Newple, this is Tim, the Colossus of Clout Van Stratton, signing off for another edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. Talk to you guys later.
See you guys.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newple and Tim Van Stratton.